What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video, my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over some basketball games for Friday, February 4th, 2022. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And I wish you guys the best of luck in all your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into the games. We're just going to be looking at two NBA games today. I'm not going to go over the full slate. I don't have a whole lot of time today. I got the other job I got to do. But let me bring up the screen here. We're going to be looking at the Cavaliers versus the Hornets. And then we're going to look at the Nets versus the Jazz. So Cavaliers and Hornets, Nets versus the Jazz. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. The way that I have it structured here is I have the away team, the road team up top, their coach's record, their season record, their road record, any other notes I want to add. In the middle is the head-to-head record between the two teams, all time and for this season in particular. And then at the bottom is the home team, their season record, their home record, their coach's record, and any other notes that I want to add. But let's get up to the first game here, Cavaliers versus the Hornets. And let me bring up a bigger screen for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Cavaliers versus the Hornets. All right, so let's start with the home team. If the Hornets were going to win this game, some things I would start to look at is today has 48 date numerology on the Gregorian. The Hornets, they can get their 48th win all time head-to-head against the Cavaliers. It's the 4th of February, 2/4 or 4/2. Hornets can sit on 24 losses as they get that 48th all-time head-to-head win against the Cavaliers, 2/4 with 48 date numerology on the Gregorian. Today has 12 date numerology on the Gregorian, and the Cavaliers coach can get his 78th loss regular season as a coach for Cavaliers, which is the 12th triangular number. Cavs would fall 1-2 head-to-head against the Hornets to go with for the season, like 12 with the loss. This is the Hornets' 23rd home game for the season. 23 written out sums to 134. And in their 23rd home game, their coach can get his 134th win regular season for his career. Hornets would become 29-24 all time, or not all time, but for this particular season, they would become 29-24 for a season record. 29, if we write it out, comes to 149, the 35th prime number. And today is the 35th day of the Gregorian New Year. Hornets could become 29-24 on 2/4, a day with 48 date numerology, get that 48th all-time head-to-head win. Coach gets that 134th win in their 23rd home game. 23 sums to 134. And Cavs coach gets the 78th loss, the 12th triangular number. Of course, 23 summoned to 134. 134 is just an anagram of 143, and the Cavaliers coach would sit on 143 wins regular season for his career with the loss. So those would be some numbers there for the Hornets to win this game. If the Cavs were going to win this game, today is the 35th day of the Gregorian New Year. The Hornets, they could become 14-9 for a home record with the loss. 149 is the 35th prime number. Hornets coach would get his 149th loss as a coach regular season for the Hornets. 149, the 35th prime number. And then the Hornets would get their 25th loss for the season to go with. 25 sums to 149. So it could just be this huge 149 pattern. They get their 25th loss. They become 14-9. Their coach gets his 149th. 149, the 35th prime today. The 35th day of the Gregorian. 25 sums to 149. Today has 12 date numerology on the Gregorian. Cavaliers coach can get his 144th win regular season for his career. 144 is the 12th Fibonacci number, as well as the 12th triangular number. And then the Cavs would sit on 12 road losses with the win to go with. They would get their 16th road win in their 53rd game for the season, 53 the 16th prime number. And then they would sit on 21 losses for the season as they become 2-1 head-to-head against the Hornets, like 21. Cavaliers could actually become Squid Game numbers, 3-2-2-1. 3-2-2-1. I consider Squid Game numbers. It's the 456 prime number, and the winner of Squid Games was number 456. So that's what I would put for both sides on the Cavs and the Hornets. Let's keep it moving. Let's go on to the next game here. Nets versus the Jazz. Nets versus the Jazz. Let's start with the home team. If the Jazz were going to win, Jazz is another team that could become Squid Game numbers today. They could become 32-21 for a season record. 32-21 is the 456 prime number. That's Squid Game numbers. But also, if we pop in the number 456 to the calculator here, 456 sums to 252, and the Jazz can become Squid Game numbers as their coach sits on 252 regular season losses for his career. 256 or 456 sums to 252. Jazz would sit on 10 losses at home with the win as they become 1-0 head-to-head against the Nets for the season, like 10, as Nets get their 10th road loss while sitting on 29 wins for the season. 29 is the 10th prime number, so it could be just a 10 pattern there to go along with the Squid Game numbers. The Nets, their coach, he could become 77-47 for a regular season record in his career with a loss. Today being the 35th day of the Gregorian. 77 sums to 149, the 35th prime number, just like 47 sums to 149, the 35th prime number. Both of those summing to 149, the 35th prime. He could become 77-47 for a record with a loss. They would go with sit on that 29 as they get the 10th road loss. Jazz 1-0, sits on that 10. Jazz would become 17-10 at home. Nets would become 17-10 on the road. Nets would get their 7th loss in a row. If this were to happen, 17, the 7th prime number. Jazz get their 17th home win, the 7th prime number, as Nets get that 7th loss in a row, as their coach sits on 77 wins. And so let's look at the Nets now. If the Nets were going to win this game, one thing that you can say is today has 48 date numerology on the Gregorian. 48 sums to 137. 137, the 33rd prime number. Nets would get their 33rd all-time head-to-head win against the Jazz. The Nets coach, he would get his 78th regular season win for his career, the 12th triangular number. Today with 12 date numerology on the Gregorian. Also, speaking of 48 and 137, the 33rd prime, 48 also sums to 61, the 18th prime. Nets can get their 18th road win as they get that 33rd all-time head-to-head win against the Jazz. And then today has 31 date numerology on the Hebrew civil side of the calendar. The Jazz can sit on 31 wins for the season with a loss. 31, the 11th prime number. Jazz would get their 11th home loss to go with. They would sit on 16 home wins with the loss in their 53rd game for the season. 53, the 16th prime number. And Jazz would get their 22nd loss for the season as their coach gets his 253rd regular season loss for his career. 253 is the 22nd triangular number. Nets would sit on 22 losses with a win. And so those would be the numbers for the Nets and Jazz game. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you some insight to the game. It gives you an insight of what's going on with the game. Wanted to get something out to you. I know it's not all 9 games for the day, but a couple good games here. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this adds to what you already have, or get you started on something. And at the end of the day, I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks, and I hopefully you win all the money in the world. And I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. Thank you for the support and have a great rest of your day.